It's 3 victories for the Robins on the bounce after a hard-fought 2-1 victory over Curzon Ashton. We're talking to assistant manager Neil Sorvel. Neil, it was a pretty tough afternoon for us.
Yeah, it was. I think it was always going to be. We've seen from the first game at Curzon on Boxing Day how difficult he made it for us. And then with them getting the result at Chester on the Saturday, we knew how difficult he made it. So delighted to have got the 3 points.
We started reasonably well. Max Harrop's had a very well struck free kick, which Cameron Mason's tipped onto the top of the crossbar early on. But gradually Curzon found their feet, and once again we've been very vulnerable from a set piece.
Yeah, disappointed. I think we knew how they were going to set up in terms of the shape and make sit behind the ball and look to counter attack and make it difficult for us. We know we were nowhere near our best today, and you can't always get it right, but I think it's really imperative that you, 1, lock down the counter-attack, and 2, make sure you're not vulnerable from set pieces when them opportunities arise for them. So disappointed to score because I think the lad was 2 or 3 yards out when he's headed that in. I think Tomo's lost his footing trying to come out and get it in the crowd, so it's unfortunate.
And we've created 1 or 2 chances before half-time. Good effort, or a good opportunity for John Johnson from a Max Harrop cross when he's cleared the bar with his header. But early in the second half, we looked quite promising, and eventually the equaliser has come.
Yeah, look, disappointed to go in 1-0 down at half-time, and we'd spoke to the lads. They hadn't really moved the ball quick enough. We were. It's a balancing act between can we play forward or do we need to keep it. I didn't think we played forward quick enough. We maybe started to do that a little bit quicker and play forward a bit more. Second half potentially has led to us getting the opportunities, but again, thought we looked a threat at times from the set piece, and that's where the first ones come from.
The ball was lofted in. There was a lot of shouts from the Altrincham fans behind the goal that there was a foul. We couldn't see anything from up on the gantry, but it's broken to Jake Moulton. A fairly sort of routine finish for Jake. Yeah,
it was a good finish. He's capable of scoring when he gets in and around the box on set pieces. So nice for him to get the equaliser.
And then within 2 minutes, we're ahead, and a very, very well worked move. Good play down the right hand side, and ball played across to Andy White, and a decent strike.
Yeah, it was. Look, we'd work the ball down the right hand side and come back central to White. You think at that point we were, they looked a bit ragged after we'd scored, and got the equaliser, and we'd created a couple of openings down the right hand side of the pitch. So yeah. Ball transferred back to Whitey and a decent finish from him.
Max Harrop's had a good game on Saturday, and I thought he was possibly our best player in the first half today, and certainly was a threat to Curzon right until the moment he got sent off. And of course, he just moved position. He just replaced Josh Hancock. What did you make of the sending off?
It's unfortunate. I think just speaking to him then after the game, I think how committed he is in the way he tackles. He potentially gives a referee an opportunity to send him off if the players and from the sideline they react like they did do, and they influence the referee. So yeah, unfortunate from his point of view, because he'd had an opportunity last couple of games. He'd stood up to it. He'd done well. So disappointed now to lose him for 3 games, but the positive of that, I suppose, from Max's point of view, is that'll be over in a week. So that's not such a bad thing.
And after that, it was back to the wall a little bit, although we did create 1 or 2 good chances ourselves, most notably a good effort from Sean Densmore. But we played without a number 10 effectively. And you must be pleased with the way the lads have been disciplined in their approach in the final minutes.
Look, we've done it before, and we've done it for longer periods. I think back to the Chester game, the Cheshire Cup a couple of seasons back, and this season we played Darlington here and we went for about 50 minutes. I thought they did great. I thought they looked, really comfortable in the shape. I don't remember them really creating anything. When you've got centre half stepping out and slashing at shots from 30, 40 yards out, it shows you've done your job and how frustrated the opposition are. So I thought, yeah, we when we went back to 10, although we were sitting deep and defending, thought we were really comfortable, and we had a couple of opportunities ourselves to counter-attack, which we're good at.
And that's 3 wins on the bounce now, 2 against Curzon and the impressive victory over Southport last Saturday. But in some ways it was all set up by the points against Kidderminster, which now is looking a very good point.
I think so. Going into this kind of block of 4 games, we were looking for 8 points as a minimum, and we've took 10. So I've got to be delighted with that. It puts us in a position now going into Saturday and then the games in hands in January to get ourselves in a better position and in and around where we'd like to be.
And the league table does look a lot more promising now. 7 points behind the last playoff place with 4 games in hand. So there really is an opportunity for us to go for it now.
I think so. I think we've been playing pretty well. Regardless of this last 4 games, I thought the Farsley game and the 2 games against Farsley, I thought we'd done okay, and we were unfortunate not to get through in that tie. So I think generally we've been playing pretty well. We've looked a bit more clinical at the minute at the top of the pitch, but we realise we've got a real tough month ahead. There's a hell of a lot of games in there to play, and some tough ones as well. So yeah, as long as we compete and we play how we're capable of, I think we'll be fine.
And there's obviously been a stomach bug going around the camp, which has affected a number of players, and James Jones wasn't available today.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a difficult period anyway with the amount of games you've got over Christmas, in terms of how you rotate your squad round and trying to give players rest when you can. And then added to that has been, the sickness bug prevented us from training on Monday. I think we only had 6 players who were fit enough to train. 8 or 9 of them numerous issues across the weekend with different stomach bugs and vomiting, etc. So the lads have done well. Really pleased with the total we've accumulated in terms of points over that period, and puts us in a real good position now.
We go to Leamington on Saturday, who were a difficult side to play against on their patch, and of course so got a bit of a score to settle, because that was probably our worst performance in the time that you've been here at the this time last year, effectively.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was one to forget, particularly the first half, where we went in 3 down. Look, we know again they have a way of playing. So it's makes it really difficult for you, and they're an awkward side to play against. So we'll go there positive, and we'll try and impose our way on them.
That's the thoughts of Neil Sorvel there after Altrincham's New Year's Day victory over Curzon Ashton, which is put the Robins in 12th position, 4 games in hand on 7th place in the league, and 7 points behind.